They say my sisters are always playing victim. So I looked up what victim meant. A person harmed, sufferer. Okay. Now, in all my videos, I always talk about the fact that the most disrespected, the most unacknowledged, the most denigrated species on this earth are black women. No ifs, ands, buts about it. At all. In any case, in every case, that's what you have. And so, if you have folks that look at that particular species as being the worst of the worst, and they're not afforded opportunities because they're considered the worst of the worst, then I wonder, how doesn't that equate to being harmed? How doesn't that equate to being a sufferer? When you have folks that are constantly placing these women at the bottom of their feet in every aspect, they're not good enough to do any types of working careers. They're not good enough in their beauty. They're not good enough with their IQ. You know, there was some folks that were out there talking about some folks during this whole political match, talking about low IQ. We know where low IQ comes from. But somehow, this other person that they were talking about was extremely accomplished. Got some smarts in them in school. They couldn't be there just with having any kind of low IQ. But anyway, we know. And so, again, sisters aren't good enough for so many things out there. And when you have folks that are being treated that way, and then even by their own opposite sex, the ones who look just like them, the ones who come from them, and they get treated just the same, I don't know where you get that these women aren't harmed. They've been harmed. They've continued to be harmed. And then you know the other thing that occurs with them is they're good for some things. You know, back in slavery, these women used to nurture the slave masters' kids. Used to even feed them breast milk. Give them breast milk. They weren't good enough. They weren't good enough to not be slaves, but they were good enough to give the nourishment to the master's children. My sisters are good enough to go out and help all types of folks out here. Very compassionate. Very nurturing, like I said, very caring. You come across a lot of black women who are like therapists for a lot of people. Again, you probably haven't been around them, so you probably would say, nah, I don't know nothing about that. Or you ask some of these other women, these other cultures. These sisters are like therapists because they're strong. They've been through a lot. They're resilient. And so what happens is they have the capacity to still be able to give that natural part of themselves to be caring and to want to help others in all facets. This is what they do. Naturally, this is innate to black sisters. This is absolutely innate to black sisters. All these races will tell you. They will tell you how comforting they are. So, you say that they're always trying to play victim, but they are the species that's been harmed. So that really makes no sense. There's validity to that. There's truth to that. It's very apparent. When you look at what's going on today in this climate, and you see folks that are referencing certain things about people aren't supposed to be in that position. Normally, 9 times out of 10, it's referring to a sister. It's referring to a sister. So again, they're just not good enough in your eyes. They're not good enough to be in any other position but to be those stigmas that I've said all across all of my videos. They're good enough to just be laughed on, insulting. They're good enough for the criticism. They're good enough to be able to wipe your feet off to say, you know what? At least I'm not like them. So big harm. Big harm. My sisters can play victim because they are harmed. They are injured. They're being clipped in every capacity. Folks don't want to give them those opportunities. They want to take from them, but they don't want to give them those opportunities. And you know the reason why they don't want to give those opportunities? Because there's a certain strength that my sisters have. There's a certain strength that they have that other folks just don't have. And if you're around them, you'll know. They hold up families. They hold up their men. Shoot, all of the men, all of the brothers who sit up here and talk all this nonsense. You go to a household that has a sister in that household, and those men will tell you how strong, how powerful, and how they listen to their women. They will tell you that. They won't go against what they're saying. They'll tell you that. And it's not this matriarch, patriarch type of stuff. It's just the fact of being respectful and understanding that sometimes people are sharper than you. Sometimes people have a little bit more of a understanding of life. Mother Nature, a wisdom that you don't have. They can see certain things. They can feel certain things. That's what my sisters are able to do. But again, you have to be around them. You wouldn't know that. What you look at is the stuff that you see that's shown on the outside. But there's so many people that I see on some of these social medias that they go into the households and the sisters are cooking for them. And all of a sudden they're like, wow, this is food that hits your heart, your soul, your spirit. Oh, you see that across the boards. You can see across the social medias, some of my sisters, again, being therapists, they're sitting down and they're talking to folks, and then they're bringing out these folks' problems and their issues. And only the sisters are able to pull that out of them, because there's something inside of them that's being able to connect with that frequency. There's that mom effect. That mom effect. That's why so many of these folks, still to this day, they're nannies, they're babysitters, are sisters. Because they know sisters are the only ones who know how to discipline kids the right way. They know how to care for kids the right way. That's what you see. So let my sisters play the victim because they are harmed. That's true. It is what it is. I don't see no lies in that. I'll catch you on the next note. Peace out.